This week in East Brunswick, the Township celebrated the holidays with traditional ceremonies. On Thursday evening, at the Municipal Building, a gathering listened to Christmas hymns and watched the lighting of the Township's outdoor Christmas tree. Then on Sunday evening, a group met at the library to celebrate Hanukkah by listening to traditional music and lighting a menorah. Earlier, on Thursday, a party at Memorial School honored Adam Wazorek, a Korean boy who received his American citizenship this weekend. At Warnsdorfer School, children, with their parents, told classmates about how their families like to celebrate the holiday season. The Lions Club helped the children of Camp Daisy to enjoy the holidays by giving a party for them at the library. Mary Tenaccio of the Township Consumer Affairs Office will be in the studio to discuss sledding safety. And this week's program will end with excerpts from Monday's Township Council meeting. At Thursday's Township Christmas celebration, Mayor Fox spoke briefly, then introduced Debbie White, who sang for the crowd.
This is always a very special time. Christmas is a time when memories are made and traditions and families are made, and it's one of the happiest times of the year. I'm excited tonight that I get to light 2 Christmas trees. That's the first time I've ever done that in one evening. And I think that we should move on with the program so that we can come to the point of lighting the trees.
Later in the program, some of the Christmas scriptures were read.
And she gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger because there was no room for them in the inn. And in that region there were shepherds out in the field keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were filled with fear. And the angel said to them, "Be not afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, which will come to all people. For to you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign to you, and you will find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger." And there suddenly came with an angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among men with whom he is well pleased."
Outside, as the Christmas tree was lit, those on hand joined together in singing Silent Night. Township celebration of Hanukkah, which was canceled last week due to snow, was held this Sunday at the library. After opening comments from the mayor, Mel Goldberg, president of the East Brunswick Jewish Center, spoke to the group about the meaning of Hanukkah.
The celebration of Hanukkah commemorates the struggle of our forefathers who struggled for freedom of religion and choice of liberty. That we gather here as part of the community is indicative of the importance of all peoples place on these values. We know as long as all people sincerely strive for these values, then we will sincerely have these values. The celebration of Hanukkah is a marvelous and beautiful part of our heritage. The miracle of why we light the candles, justice and freedom of our choice, become the way amongst all of us. The miracle of the world today. Let these all be part of us. Mayor, let me thank you for this invitation, and thanks to all of you for joining us today.
Cantor Harvey Waldman led the group as they sang the blessings together and watched the lighting of the menorah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של חנוכה. ברוך אתה השם, אלוקינו מלך העולם, שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
Later, Cantor Waldman, accompanied by Jules Frankel on guitar, asked the crowd to join in more group singing. Last Thursday at Memorial School, a party was held in honor of Adam Wazorek, who received his American citizenship last weekend. After the party, Dr. Burnett, principal of Memorial School, asked Adam about the upcoming citizenship ceremony.
How do you feel about tomorrow?
Nervous.
Nervous, huh? Do you have to go before a judge? Do you know?
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, you just don't know. So you're maybe nervous because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know where to go. I think I'm going to a court, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's true, that you have to go to a court. Yeah, you're a very bright boy. I think, you'll do very well and don't have anything really to be nervous about. In addition to being nervous, do you feel excited about it?
Well, I'll be excited when the thing is over.
Well, well, okay, good. Well, I wish you a lot of luck tomorrow, okay, Adam? And,
Okay.
I want to thank you for sharing your experience with us. We had a good time today and appreciate it.
On Friday at Warnsdorfer School, children in Miss McTaggart's third grade class invited their parents to spend an afternoon with them in celebration of the holidays. At one point, each parent and child went before the class to share some of the special holiday traditions which they practice within their own families. Here are a few of those special traditions for all of us to share.
We celebrate Hanukkah. This year, the first night of Hanukkah fell on Friday night, which is our Shabbat. So we went to temple where Michael sings in the junior choir. He participated in singing all the Hanukkah songs and the lighting of the menorah. Because we live quite a distance from our family, Sunday is our big day. We celebrated Hanukkah by making potato latkes, brisket, and other little goodies. And at that time, the children receive all their gifts and open them so we can do this as an entire family.
Lynn Manuel and Amy Manuel. We are Catholics and we celebrate Christmas. And one of our favorite customs is to invite someone from our neighborhood or friends that do not celebrate Christmas, and they decorate the tree and sing carols with us. It means a lot because we feel we're sharing part of our joy with them, and they seem to enjoy it also.
On Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, we invite all our aunts and uncles and cousins to eat dinner with us. We're Greg and Madeline Thorny. We celebrate Christmas. When we go to get our Christmas tree, they chop it down. When we bring our Christmas tree home and are ready to decorate it, we decorate it with almost all homemade ornaments.
We also celebrate Russian Christmas, which is January 7th. We usually meet at my aunt's house and have a traditional Russian Christmas Eve dinner, which is meatless. And one of the dishes calls for dried mushrooms, and we get these from our relatives who are still living in Czechoslovakia.
Holiday. Many of the other holidays have more complicated traditions and foods. But for this one, as in the other families, we have latkes and applesauce and light the menorah and tell the story of Hanukkah and what happened, how Judah and the Maccabees defeated the enemy. And then when the temple was being purified, the oil that they expected to last for one night lasted for the 8. And the children receive little gifts. When I was a child, we got oranges and a few dollars to spend on a present that we picked out ourselves. It's become a little more complicated now, and they usually get small gifts each night of the holiday.
Every Christmas Eve, we have a traditional Christmas feast.
All week long, we prepare some of our most favorite foods for a special feast on Christmas Eve. We like to have beef Wellington and coconut shrimp and white chocolate mousse, and these have become tradition in our family. We invite our very dearest friends, and Grandma and Grandpa come from Red Bank to have Christmas Eve dinner with us, and we all dress up in our very finest clothes for that night.
Mom lights the driveway with candles so everyone can follow the path to the front door.
After dinner's over, we like to go into the living room as a family and friends, and we read about the Nativity from the Bible, and we sing some of our favorite Christmas carols.
After the guests have left, Mom and Dad let all the children open one gift. Then we have to go right to bed. It's hard to go to sleep, but we know in the morning there will be bundles of presents for us all. And the Nutcracker will stand guard over everything all night.
We are Sean and Edward Kozlowski.
We celebrate a traditional Christmas day with exchanging gifts underneath the Christmas tree and singing Christmas carols, going to church, having all our relatives and best friends come over for a traditional Christmas dinner of turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, everything you can imagine. And we would like to wish everybody in East Brunswick a happy holiday season.
Dashing through the snow, in one horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the ways, till our bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song
The East Brunswick Lions Club offered up a healthy portion of the holiday spirit this Sunday as they gave a party at the library for the children of Camp Daisy. The children were treated to food, entertainment, and a surprise visitor. Now here's Mary Tenaccio with some holiday safety tips.
Welcome to Consumer Aware. I'm Mary Tenaccio from your Consumer Affairs Office, and today we are going to discuss toy safety. This time of the year, there is a large purchase of sleds and snow discs. So far, the weather hasn't told us that, but we're expecting some snow, and a lot of sleds are purchased. Over 33,000 people are treated annually in hospital emergency rooms from accidents with some types of sleds. Some major safety problems are mechanical and structural problems, flimsy material, steering with little or no control, and of course poor riding conditions and collisions. I would like to give you some safety hints for purchasing sleds today. 1, check very carefully for the sturdy construction. 2, check for secure handholds. Number 3, check for easy steering mechanism. Avoid sleds with runners that end in sharp edges. Take the time, if you purchase your child a sled, to teach the children to check over the territory that they are going to be using for sleigh riding. No sledding should be permitted at night for young children. Supervise young children carefully. Teach a child how to roll off sideways from the sled to lessen injury if there's going to be a collision. And of course, do not sleigh ride in traffic. Sleighs look harmless, but they have potential danger. Keep your sleds dry, lubricate well, wax the wood, and of course sand any rough spots that might appear on the sled. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Consumer Aware. Hope to see you again next time.
Earlier this year, the Council authorized a loan of $70,000 to the community players for the renovation of Playhouse 22. At this week's Township Council meeting, the members discussed a proposal to cancel this debt. The proposal was defeated by a 3-2 vote. Here are some excerpts from the discussion.
After having seen what the players did with the money that they received in improving property which is still owned by the taxpayers, it seemed to me that it was appropriate to raise that issue again and seek the sense of the council to see if the council would not reconsider requiring the players to repay that money. And it seems to me that having invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in athletic fields without anybody being required to repay, having spent tens of thousands of dollars on the museum without anybody having to repay, that requiring the players to take a loan and to have a theater in our community and requiring them to repay it is unfair treatment of them. And therefore I believe that debt should be forgiven, so that they can go ahead and complete their facility. Because there's no question but what, while they've done a great deal there, having to repay the $75,000 that we advanced will prevent them from completing the building in the very near future. Still, the taxpayers' building that they would be continuing to improve with the money that they would otherwise be paying back to the township and therefore the taxpayers. So that's...
And the players came to us, I guess it was about 6 months ago, and asked for a loan. A loan of $75,000 to complete the facility. I had a hard time understanding in my own mind how they would be able to pay that back under the time frame upon which they recommended that they do pay it back. In fact, they initially started off with a 5-year payment schedule, and then it was extended out to 6, I believe. But nevertheless, I still feel now that I don't see how that they can possibly pay that loan back without getting themselves into deep trouble, and then coming back here perhaps a year from now or 2 years from now and saying, we can't pay it back, Township, you want to take over the community players, or do you just want to let it sit?
I am opposed to forgiving a loan. I guess most essentially I think it's a bargain is a bargain, but I also feel that philosophically I am opposed, because I thought the arrangement that we came up with the community players was an ideal one. At least it fit very nicely in my philosophy of government, which is the public sector should assist the private sector in achieving community aims or goals without the expenditure of taxpayer dollars. And we talk very much about the delivery of basic services, and we all know that we are confronting the possibility of a much more difficult budget in the coming year and in the coming years, and I think we've got to begin to send messages to the community that what we at one point might have considered a bit of the delivery of art or cultural activities to the community at the taxpayers' expense is no longer possible, and that we're going to have to concentrate on removing leaves and plowing the streets of snow and so forth, police and fire and so forth, as much more fundamental and important to the community as rather than the forgiveness of a loan. So
we funded their loan initially to basically underwrite a facility that has never left our ownership. It's our facility. It will always be our facility. We just seem to have signed a long-term lease. And the value added to that facility is tremendous. And that value does not belong to the players, but belongs to the Township of East Brunswick, and it will never lose that value. So to feel that the monies that we loaned the East Brunswick players is sort of, or should be repaid, is to say to any of our bonding, if we increase the value of any of our facilities, does somebody pay us back for it because they're leasing it? And I don't think that's, morally, I don't think that's the right attitude to take. I also think it's been our policy over the years with our bonding that we don't invest in facilities or properties that don't belong to the Township of East Brunswick. Here we're asking the East Brunswick players to invest in a piece of property that they themselves don't own, which we ourselves do not do. Let's give a perfect example of type of funding that we've done in the past. The Museum Corporation. Did we ask the Museum Corporation to pay us back hundreds of thousands of dollars to rebuild the museum? No, because it's a cultural part of our community. And if we don't take that kind of attitude to various programs, not only to sports programs, but something other than sports programs, I think we deprive a segment of our population to enjoy that kind of programming.
I'm just wondering what direction that this council is going in relationship to philosophies. The philosophies of I'm just wondering how many town employees have gone down to the museum? How many town employees have gone into the arts building? How many employees have done work, painting, changing this, cutting the grass, and many of the others? It goes on and on and on. Naturally, you don't want to deprive the town from some cultural aspects of the town, but it's getting to a point where how much can this town afford to spend on most of these things? We have schools, we have auditoriums, we have many of the facilities in town, and yet we go out and we take it upon ourselves to spend a lot of money and just up the taxes. And I think that with a number of projects and a number of things, we have to look through these things through a magnifying glass and then just find out what these things are costing and what is it costing the taxpayers, because we just can't go on. I think there's getting to a point where things are becoming very, very tight. And I don't think that we should be doling out taxpayers' money in every different direction. And I hope to see a change of philosophy on this council in the future.
If there is a real problem financially, then I think we need to sit down and go over the figures. I'd also like to point out that the $75,000 loan is not the only thing that the players are getting from the community. They do receive, as part of the Recreation and Parks funding program, a grant, a substantial grant. I think they got, what, $9,000 next year, and I've heard that they're recommending $14,000 this year. Okay, $14,000 last year, $9,000 this year, which is not an insubstantial amount of money to help a group get going. So I don't think that anyone can say that we're not interested in helping the community players. And if there is some reasonable way that we can help them, either by expanding the time that the payoff takes place without really hurting our own tax rate, then I would be willing to think about that.